people said I pedestalize women, idealize them. I do. I mean, I really do. I'm just totally involved with this essence of female. I'm looking for a universal that conjures up this very essence of image that is female woman.
I'm excited to be joined today by David Hostetler. How are you?
Wonderful.
It's wonderful to see you here in the space that you've been for a long time on Nantucket.
Been down on this wharf 37 years.
It's a long time.
Started with Beverly Hall and Peterson. Most of them are dead by now,
right.
But there's still a couple of them around.
But you're here and thriving among your beautiful sculptures. But we're here to talk about a wonderful film that is going to be premiering here on the island, The Last Dance.
Anybody that's interested in any of the arts, theater, music, poetry, will identify because it's more universal than just a person.
Tell me how you met this filmmaker and why you agreed to do this, because it's certainly a big undertaking. It took several years to finish the filming.
Susan saw a film that he had done on Frida Kahlo and Siqueiros and realized that I'm 80s and she better get on it if she's ever going to do it. So this young man who did that film said that I was interesting enough, or, well, he said kooky enough, that he could have fun with it. He liked quirky, the photographer likes quirky people, quirky old men, he said. And I guess I fit the bill.
Well, certainly talented. It had a lot to do with it as well. What was it like to be involved in a project like this? I mean, it's a big undertaking, and someone who talks about in the film being alone and enjoying being alone. What was it like to be followed around with a camera?
It was very obtrusive, like having these guys come, and come in every afternoon. And I'm in there doing what I do, which is all artists, writers would acknowledge this as well, a very lonely art, because you're you yourself and your media and your muse and whatever, but it's pretty much alone. So in comes my little Woody Allen guy. He's Brooklyn, Jewish, wonderful. You'll meet him at the preview. And he's all over the place. And of course I'm trying to carve and somehow coordinate my thoughts with the questions they're asking off screen, not on like you are. And so it was chaos for the first couple of weeks. I thought, this is never going to work.
Yeah.
And he said, you like wine, right? And I said, I love wine. So they started, they'd bring a bottle, but we didn't shoot till 1 o'clock. I don't do anything in the morning. This is early, man. And so I'd have a glass of wine, and that would show me out. I don't know what he took, Prozac or something. But it was the creative process of watching the photographer, the producer, and who all was there, the sound man. It was wonderful. And eventually now they're gone, and I miss it. They're alone again.
Right. You got used to the company in your studio.
Oh, especially his Woody Allen-esque presence, man.
It is shot beautifully. I mean, I got an opportunity before I sat down with you today to look at it, and it's really visually a beautiful film. I mean, your studio and the way it's lovely to watch.
Well, both of them have won awards, so they aren't new to the scene. And we shot starting out with 35 millimeter, and then midway digital. So they switched to digital and high definition. So we canned the first year, which is probably good, because by then I was so used to them that I had no stage fright, no feeling whatsoever. They were just part of my studio.
And you never got to see any of it until it was complete, and we talked a little bit about it, so that you wouldn't...
He didn't want me to be able to judge...
Critique yourself,
because then you'd start getting self-conscious.
Right.
And so he wanted it just to be a shock at the end, and it was.
Was there anything that popped out after viewing it that even surprised you, even though most of it is from you and your creative process, but was there anything that...
Oh my God, my honey, Susan, who's 50-50 in this thing and in the film as well, I didn't realize what a salesperson she is. Everything she says in the film is somehow about selling art.
Right.
And I produce it, she sells it, so I don't have to think about any of that. So I guess I'm so used to her talking that way, but when I saw her in the film, it was like, she's good.
Right.
And people laugh at things that she doesn't know are funny, because she's so unself-conscious that it comes off beautifully.
Right, the authentic thing. Yeah. So, and you can tell that when someone's being authentic. In this process, in all these years, I mean, the teacher, your music, your art, is there one thing that you're more attached to, or is it a combination of everything?
It's pretty much a nice mix. And I had a little problem standing. I've been carving for, well, at least 50 years, doing art for over 60. But I started as a painter, because in the 40s, after World War II, where I discovered art, ironically, everybody was a painter, because sculpture was so secondary. And then I met a French sculptor, and sculpture became my life. And of course, they're all women. That's always been true. But I switched back to painting this February, so this lingerie series that I'm doing that Vanessa's going to preview
right at the Seven
will
Seas.
Be the first time anybody has seen this.
Wow. And so now you've taken it to a whole nother thing. It seems like you're constantly reinventing aspects of it, or tapping into some other form of art.
Yeah, I know some people, get hung up on lighthouses, but right. I keep moving around. I mean, if I get bored, like one of my drum instructors early in life said, if you're not dancing, they're not dancing.
Interesting.
So you've got to keep your enthusiasm, and the only way I do that is constantly reinforcing and reinventing. It's always women, it's always female, like the lingerie obviously is female, but if I reflect on it and it titillates me, it's going to titillate the viewer. I have to make adjustments every time I do this because the tree has its own ideas about where we're going to go. And so it'll be partially me, partially the tree, talking to each other throughout this process of carving. Some of the strangest pieces have come out of pieces that didn't intend to go that way in the beginning. And again, like life, you compromise.